The biggest mistake sellers make isn't pricing too low, it's teaching buyers to wait. Because when your home hits the market overpriced, buyers don't rush to make an offer. They sit back and wait for the inevitable price cut. And by the time that price cut comes, the leverage, it's already shifted. Because the strongest buyers, they're gonna be gone. And the market is negotiating from a completely different position. I wanna show you how exactly that plays out. Two sellers in the same market, and one lost $76,500 by listing too high and ignoring the feedback. The other listed in the winter, and they priced it right, and they trusted the process and sold in 94 days at nearly full ask. Cornwall Road, Rehoboth Beach Country Club. The sellers wanted $699. Well, I recommended $649, and the market supported that. But they didn't listen, and we had over a dozen showings, and we had the same feedback every time. The price doesn't reflect what we're seeing. So we cut the price, and of course they pushed back. We cut it again, sold for $622,500. That's $76,500 less than they wanted, and $26,500 less than where an honest price on day one would have landed. The house was never the problem, the price was. So now Paul and Rosemary over in Kings Creek, they priced it right. They staged it, they repainted, they decluttered, they followed every recommendation without argument. 94 days on the market, well, they closed at $1,085,000 on a $1,099,000 price. That's only $14,000 under ask on $1 million home in Rehoboth in the winter. The 94 days didn't cost them $1 because the price was honest and the home was ready. Buyers who came through in spring didn't see a stale listing, they saw a prepared home that had just landed in that right window. I'm Andy Staton, more than 20 years on this coast and over 1,000 homes sold. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what a buyer is thinking on day 1, day 21, and day 45, and why those two stories, they ended so differently. Lesson 1. The first 2 weeks are the only ones that matter. Selling a home in coastal Delaware is front-loaded. The first 10 to 14 days is when your listing, it gets full, fresh attention. Every buyer who's been watching for a home like yours gets the alert the day you go live. Brand new, no history. That window, it's diagnostic. The cleanest feedback you'll ever get because nothing is working against you yet. There's no day count and no stigma, just buyers reacting to the home and that price. So if you price it right, and serious buyers, they'll get in the car. Miss it, and those buyers move on. And they don't come back at a lower price. They go look at the next listing. Cornwall Road had that window. Over a dozen buyers came through. And the feedback, it was unanimous. The sellers argued with it for 3 months. By the time the price matched the market, the most qualified buyers were long gone, and any buyer who came after them used the days on market as a counter as permission to come in low. So before you list your home in coastal Delaware, check the link in the description. I left my seller guide there, 20 years of local selling experience boiled down into what homeowners should know before they go to market. Lesson 2, what overpricing actually costs. And here's what the data on the coast shows cycle after cycle. Homes listed 10% over what the market supports don't just sit longer, they sell for more than 10% below true market value. And they stay on the market 3 times as long correctly priced homes. The overpriced home doesn't just sell for less than the seller wanted, it sells for less than the house was actually worth. And when a listing sits, buyers don't think, great, an opportunity. They think, something's wrong with this one. The day count becomes a story and the home tells about itself. A stale listing gives every buyer psychological permission to come in low. Not because the home isn't worth it, because the sitting handed them the leverage. These buyers are sophisticated, 55 plus, coming from Philadelphia or DC, Baltimore, maybe Jersey. They've tracked this market for months, and they know what sold last spring, and they know the price per square foot, and the list high and come down strategy assumes the buyer isn't paying attention. In this market, they're always paying attention. Lesson 3, the honest timeline. Day 1 through 14, full attention, fresh first impression. Price it right and you have leverage. Day 21, the questions change. Buyers who saw it new now see a listing that's been sitting for a little while. They start to wonder. And on day 45, you're no longer selling a home, you're managing the story. The conversation shifts from what is it worth to why is it still here? Day 60 and beyond, well, the lowball offers start to feel almost reasonable because the day count has been arguing the buyer's case for 2 straight months. Now here's what Paul and Rosemary understood that the Cornwall Road sellers didn't. The days on the market is not the enemy. Days on market with the wrong price and an unprepared home is the enemy. Those are 2 completely different situations. Paul and Rosemary had 94 days, but every one of those days the price was right and the home was ready. When spring buyers arrived, there was nothing to question. There wasn't a stigma. There was no story to defend, just a well-priced, well-prepared home that the market was finally ready for. Pricing was never really about the number. It's about who controls the story of your home or the market. If you price it right, prepare it properly, and you keep the pen, do neither, and you hand that pen to every buyer who scrolls past. Cornwall Road handed the pen to the market on day 1. Well, Paul and Rosemary, they kept it for 94 days, and the market rewarded them for it. Your home does not go stale because something is wrong with it. It goes stale because the market was told the wrong number and the market believed it. If this changed how you're thinking about your sale, well, the next video walks you through what buyers in this market will actually pay a premium for and what they're quietly refused to pay for, regardless of how much you've spent. That one's linked right here, and I'll see you there.